In this video, we're taking a look at the Civic Access Sling, also known as the CAS2 from EVERGOODS. What's up everyone, I'm Kevin, welcome to Pack and Roam. If you're new to the channel, I do gear reviews, primarily backpacks and slings, but I also dive into everyday carry gear, travel gear, that type of stuff. If that sounds like you, definitely subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming content. Meanwhile, as I mentioned today, we're going to be taking a look at the Civic Access Sling from EVERGOODS. Now, I've had this for a while, since last year, and I've used it quite a bit. I held off on a review because it was out of stock, and I didn't really want to post a review for a bag that was out of stock. I don't want to post a review of something you can't go and buy, because that might just be frustrating for people. So it's back in stock. I was hoping to get this out a little bit early, but I've been extremely busy for the beginning of this year. But now I'm ready. Now I've got the time. We're filming the video. We're doing the review. This is the Civic Access Sling, or the CAS2 from EVERGOODS. So let's start with specs and materials. And as is typical for EVERGOODS, this is a custom 840D ballistic nylon that's solution dyed. And this is very durable material. It's great. It's got a really nice look to it, got a really great feel to it. It is a ballistic nylon, so it's gonna last, it's gonna stand up, it's gonna perform. Overall, great material for the exterior. It's got a nice feel to it. You know, for a ballistic nylon, it's not as rough as some of the other ballistic nylons out there. And I think, you know, that might be partly because of its DWR finish, not 100% sure, but great overall exterior material for this, and same for just about all of EVERGOODS stuff. So the interior, the lining is a 210D high tenacity nylon, and we'll take a closer look at that when we get to it. But that is, it's got a PU coating on the back, and then it's got a silicone finish on the face. Again, we'll see that a little bit closer when we open this up. The zippers all around are YKK. You've got a massive, two massive number 10 reverse coil YKKs on the front of this to get into this main access point. Really great zipper pulls on there. It's just a piece of material, kind of knotted. That's typical for EVERGOODS as well, but offers great purchase, looks nice. The back zipper on the security pocket is a number 8 RC YKK zipper. The back side of this has their standard mesh material, so it's a very breathable mesh with some foam padding underneath it. So if you've seen other EVERGOODS stuff, this is the same material you see on the back of the Civic travel bag or the CPL. All of them have this mesh material on the back, which feels very breathable, feels very comfortable, nice to wear against your body. Spec-wise, we're looking at 2 liters. So this is the CAS2 2-liter Civic Access Sling. The weight of this empty is 13 ounces. And then the dimensions are 11 inches by 3 inches by 5.5 inches. And I've got some stuff in there to show you what can fit and some other sample stuff to throw in there to kind of give you an idea of what you can put in the main compartment as well as the security pocket area. One last key piece of information here is that this can be worn as a fanny pack. It can be worn as a sling. I always wear it as a sling. And it's got a 52-inch, yes, 52-inch strap. So that'll fit around most waists. I mean, that's a pretty long strap. I will say as a crossbody, I'm at about the limit. So I think I've got a little bit extra, but it's pretty close. If you're significantly bigger than me, it might not pan out as a crossbody. There is not that much strap. I mean, I wear it kind of loose too, so it's not super tight fitting, but that's about max for me. So let me see if I undo this. I'm about maxed out on there. But then I also wear it pretty loose. I like to wear this one a little bit looser. I could definitely tighten it up a little bit, but I'm at about the limit for the strap on this for crossbody. The strap itself is a seatbelt-like material, a little bit, not quite as smooth as seatbelt, and it doesn't have those different color lines in it that you typically see in that type of material, but it's a very soft nylon, nice and wide, no padding, but you don't need it. It offers good width, so it's distributed across the face of the strap, you know, the load that you put on there. You've got like attachment wings that kind of wrap around you when you put it on. we can see construction-wise when we're looking at this. I mean, there is just bulletproof stitching throughout. I would expect nothing less from EVERGOODS. I mean, everything I have from them is very well made, and this sling is no exception. The buckle is Duraflex, and it's a nice big side lock buckle that's gonna stay together. You know, the mag lock or the fidlock style can be good. I mean, there's some of them are better than others. The V style stays together pretty well, but you know, with this type, you've got very good security. I mean, someone would have to squeeze that and pull it open, whereas, you know, the fidlock, I don't know, they tend to make me a little bit nervous. They're convenient and they're nice and they're kind of cool and not the most secure option though, I feel. So those always make me a little bit nervous. I would prefer pretty much 9 times out of 10 to have a side lock buckle that I know is going to stay secure on my sling. And then otherwise you've got some sliders and adjusters on there to take up slack or, you know, adjust strap length. The strap is not really removable. I mean, it's not meant to be removed. And that's really it. Oh, one more thing I'll mention. We've got the loop field on the front as is standard fashion for EVERGOODS products. So they're, you know, the 2x2, 1x1, the square loop fields they put on the front of everything. You've got the checkbox kind of stamped into it. You can put the square EVERGOODS style patches on there. This is, I've had this patch for a while and I do get asked about it all the time. So this is from suburban.com.hk, and I'm not sure if they still stock these or not, but there's a couple different colors that these came in. So that is where that is from. And that's about it for the exterior. So let's move on into the interior. We will start with the front main access area. And I've just got some sample stuff in here to kind of show you what you could fit, but I've got a pair of knockaround sunglasses. I do travel with these sometimes, but I love my gaiters so much that I risk damaging them every time I travel because I'm just a huge fan of the gator sunglasses. But these are also nice if you know, maybe don't want to risk damaging your better sunglasses or your more expensive ones. These are kind of like low mid-range, so they're not like gas station cheap, but they're you know, a little bit better than that in terms of quality. And they'll take a they'll take a beating, and you don't really have to necessarily be too concerned about destroying them because, again, relatively cheap. So sometimes I do travel with these. Most of the times I stick with my gaiters. I've got a pair of Coyote mechanics gloves in there. I love mechanics gloves. The selfie stick for the Insta360 fits in there handily. This is the 114 centimeter version, and it fits in there with plenty of space to spare. This is about 11 inches wide, so you've got room for the larger ones in there too, I would assume. I have no idea if the long 10-foot one would fit in there, but this one fits in there easily. And that's something I get asked about quite a bit, so I figured I'd include it in the video. And then I've got my Henry Holsters hand sanitizer holster in there with some hand sanitizer, and that's it. Inside is just a dump pocket. So you've got no organization in that front. It's just all volume, and you got quite a bit of volume in there. It's nice and spacious. It's the HT nylon material that's in there. It is very soft to the touch. It's nice and slick, so your stuff, you know, when you're pulling, I don't know if you had like a knit cap in there, for instance, when you're pulling it out, you're not going to get hung up on, you know, rougher material. You've got a nice, smooth 210D HT material in there. And then you've got the EVERGOODS label that tells you what the bag is, tells you about the materials. There is a key leash, which is pretty standard for EVERGOODS stuff. So you got the red nylon strap with a gated buckle key leash. That's pretty typical in EVERGOODS gear. And that's it. I mean, that's really all there is to this pocket. Lots of space in there though, just to kind of show you what you can fit. So I've got a fully loaded up Cap 1. This is my tech travel setup. So, well, it's kind of an ouch pouch personal care / tech travel. I've got, you know, my computer stuff in here, my laptop stuff for work, and then some personal care type stuff. But it's loaded up pretty well. And that will go in here. No problem. So it's a little bit, I mean, you got to shove it to kind of get it in, but it definitely goes in there. And what I can say is it comes out a lot easier than it goes in. So we've got it in there, zips up, no problem. But it is totally stuffed out. So I probably, I wouldn't technically use it for that. And I want, a little bit more versatility inside and not have to pull a Cap 1 out of a CAS2 to get at my stuff. But just to kind of show you what you could fit in there. And then it does pop out nice and easily though. You could also fit, I get asked about this sometimes too, but this is the DJI Neo. That is a little tall, as you can see, but it will go in. So it zips up. It's just going to be a little bit snug that way. So maybe not the greatest look for the sling, but it goes in there. And then there is some room on the slides, on the sides if you need to put more gear in there, or you can slide it over. You kind of got to keep it in the middle for that height. I will say this would not be my preferred method of carry for this. I would choose a sling that was a little bit deeper if I was going to carry the Neo frequently. Just something to think about. And that's really it for that front compartment. So the only other area we have on here is the rear security style pocket. So this pocket is different. You open it up, number 8 YKK zip. It's up against your body, nice and secure. So you're not, no one's gonna get in there without you knowing about it. And then you've got some organization built in. Very similar, in fact, to the organization in the Cap 1. So you've got these same style pockets right here, for instance, where you've got some mesh on the front, and then a solid divider in the back with some drop-in, separation between them. And cool red stitching there too. Look at that stitching. I mean, that is a stitch. So I'm kind of assuming that's where that key leash, yeah, you can see, I don't know if you can see this on the top, but man, that key leash, that looks like it might be able to support your body weight. I mean, look at that stitch. And then that goes through to here. So you're going through couple layers of material. Wow. Anyway, back to this pocket. So we've got the mesh areas. I like the organizational layout in here because it's very reminiscent, as I said, of the Cap 1, and I really like how this works for organization. I love Cap 1. I can't stop using it. I've got so many different tech organizers and so many different pouches and cases, but I always come back to the Cap 1 because it's just so fantastic. And this feels very reminiscent. It feels very similar. You've got that same organizational layout. I've got a little Dyneema bag in here from Hartford Gear Company. This is some personal care stuff, ouch pouch. I've got an air tag in this back pocket, but you can see this is all open, and that's behind this solid panel. And then, as I mentioned, you've got the 2 drop-in areas of the mesh pocket for some segregation, separation of stuff you want to store. So I've got the Peak Design MagSafe tripod in there, which fits perfectly in that side, keeps it segregated. It's not going to get scratched up with that nice, finish from Carryology and Peak Design. And then on the other side, I do have my 12 South Airfly, which if you are a frequent flyer, this is a must-have. So otherwise, we've got a little bit of space in there, so not a whole lot of volume to this pocket, but there is a little bit. And usually I'll put my phone right down inside here if I'm traveling with this, for instance, when I'm going through security or out and about in the airport, my phone gets sandwiched in there and it fits no problem. And then on this back side, we have 2 little slip pockets. I always have my wallet in one because I need quick access to that sometimes. And then my AirPods usually live in the other pocket, maintaining quick access to those as well. And that's it. So that's all there is to it. Really cool setup and layout though, and I really love it. I like the material on the inside. We have another EVERGOODS tag in there, and that's about it. You can see the stitching. I mean, everything is very well made in EVERGOODS products. And then behind that, you can feel the foam and the mesh. So there's some foam behind this sewn into these panels. And then obviously, again, you got that mesh material. So that is about it for the inside. And I think I covered everything. I don't think I forgot anything. All right, so we've talked inside, we've talked outside, specs, materials. Let's spend a minute on what I like and what I don't like about this sling. So I'm getting a spoiler alert here. The like list is going to be significantly longer. So let's start there. What I like. I love the form factor of this sling and the layout and the way it hugs your body, which I think is all kind of part of the same design language, design, theory, whatever, you know, the design of this sling just makes it extremely wearable, very comfortable, and just an overall joy to use. So, you know, that would be very high on my list of likes for this sling. I love the organization built into the back while the front is pure dump. So you can just dump whatever you need in here, and then you've got the CAP1 style, very similar to that organization in the back. That would be a huge like for me. I mean, I really feel like I have to mention construction too, but that's just kind of a given with EVERGOODS stuff, I feel like, but it warrants mentioning. I mean, we've talked about this, we've looked at it as we went through. I mean, that stitching you've got right there to hold the strap on, you know, everything, it feels like this is gonna last a very long time. You know, I've always been worried about this material on the back because it's soft and it's nice, but it feels durable. I have a lot of EVERGOODS stuff and I have no issues with this material. It is not worn out. It is not torn. So holding strong, and I'm going to assume this does as well. And then another huge like for me is, as I mentioned, that massive side lock buckle, which is going to provide very positive and secure engagement. So that is not going to come apart if you don't want it to. So I could go on and on because I really do like just about everything about this sling. And let's take a quick moment to address dislikes. And there is only one minor nitpick that I have, and I do wish there were a little additional length to the strap. Now, I think most people wouldn't need that, especially if you're a smaller guy or girl. You're not gonna need any more length than this. I feel like I could use another, you know, a little bit more, just for when I'm wearing a lot of layers, for instance. Then it does kind of feel tight. So the reason it's kind of stretched out right now is I had it out not too long ago and I was wearing quite a bit of layers. I was wearing a heavy Carhartt jacket with a sweatshirt underneath because it's like, you know, single digits here in Chicago. And in that situation, it's tight for me crossbody. Normally though, t-shirt, this type of shirt, it's fine. But I could use a little bit more length in that strap. And that's really it. That's the only issue I have. I love the built-in strap management loop that comes in there. It's really easy to fold it out and unravel, roll it up. Overall, just a great sling. All right, let's take a minute to talk use case scenarios and who this sling is for. So this is a sling that's gonna be, it's a sling. Does not have a removable strap. You're not converting this into like a tech kit when you travel and then pulling it out of your travel bag and attaching a string or sling and turning it into a, you know, EDC sling or something. This is a sling. It's meant to be a sling or a fanny pack, and that's where it's going to excel. So to me, urban carry is fantastic. Travel, if you need a dedicated sling that you're going to wear externally. So quite often when I'm doing one bag, this will be my personal item because it works out perfect for that. It's not huge. It's got a good amount of capacity for the extras and the stuff I want to keep on hand when I'm on the jet. And then yeah, just as I mentioned, for around town at your destination, great sling to carry for most sling situations. So what do you think of the Civic Access Sling 2-liter from EVERGOODS, the CAS2? You have one? You want one? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Anything you got, comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, definitely drop me a comment below. If you found this video useful or entertaining, definitely hit the like button for me. It really helps the channel. And also consider subscribing. That helps the channel as well. Otherwise, until next time, thanks.